So today we're going to cover web analytics. Now, so far we have covered all the functions of digital marketing one by one. So throughout every session, we tried to cover one function of digital marketing. Now, today we're on the 11th session and we're trying to cover web analytics and social media analytics. Now, analytics as a whole is more of a supporting function, but it's one of the important functions because it helps you make important decisions about your business. So without analytics, your website or your digital presence is like a ship sailing in an ocean but having no direction. The ship do not have any compass. The ship do not know where it is sailing through or where it is headed to. So web analytics helps us structure our digital presence. Web analytics helps us decide if our website or if our social media channels are performing in the right direction. Are we getting enough traffic? If at all we are getting traffic, what are they doing? So web analytics helps us make certain strategic decisions about our business. So let us start with the session. So I'll take a quick moment over here. So am I audible to everyone? Some of you are facing some screen related issues. The screen is not visible. Am I audible to all of you? Great, thank you so much for confirming it. So today we're covering web analytics. So let us start with the session. So as I discussed, web analytics is one of those supporting functions of your business or of your digital presence that helps you identify the loopholes in your digital presence, that helps you identify where your digital presence is headed to, that helps you identify how you're performing in the digital platforms. So be it your web traffic, be it how they are performing, how they are behaving on your web page, be it how they're navigating through, be it how many followers or how many likes or how many engagement you are getting on your content spread over different channels like social media channels or website, blog or emailers. So you can track each and every digital marketing activity that you are doing to outreach to your audience. So web analytics is one of those functions that helps you or guides you through to track and measure the performance of your digital marketing activities. So let us begin with today's session. So the core objective of today's session is to understand Google Analytics. Now, Google Analytics is one of those central web analytics tool that helps us understand the analytical statistics of our website. So how our website is performing, how our audience base is performing, and how our content is performing across all the platforms that we are sharing through. So web analytics using Google Analytics tool is our overall objective of today's session. Now, after this session, you have to install Google Analytics into your website and then track the performance of your website. So I'll be sharing certain videos after the session using which you can install Google Analytics into your website. So for today, let us start with the session. So Google Analytics is all about how can we track the performance of our website? How can we track the website traffic and what they are doing in our website? So we'll follow this particular course structure or we'll follow this particular flow of content. So we'll try to understand Google Analytics, how it works, how to install it in our website, and we'll quickly run through the dashboard of Google Analytics and try to understand the various metrics or various dimensions or the various menu items or the various statistics that you can study from Google Analytics dashboard. And then we'll try to come up with certain strategic metrics that we need to track as our key performance indicators to measure our website performance. So in case of Google Analytics, we are primarily concerned about how our website is performing. And how do we measure that? We decide this performance factor or how we are performing. We decide this based on how our audience is responding to our web presence, how much traffic we are getting on our website and what they are doing on our website, how much time they are spending on our web pages, where they're navigating through in our web page, what they are doing exactly in our web page, how many of them are converting, how many of them are filling up the form, lead forms, or how many of them are actually ending up purchasing or sharing our web content. So we can track each and every element. So this Google Analytics or Web Analytics is primarily concerned about tracking our audience. So not to get confused, Web Analytics is a part of the overall data analytics spectrum. Now, in data analytics, you have multiple types of analytical measures. It can be measuring your business data, it can be market research data, it can be analyzing your customer data to do some predictive analysis or some descriptive analysis of your future sales forecast. So there can be multiple types of data in an organization, but web analytics is particularly concerned about your digital presence analytics, so how you are performing in various digital platforms. So web analytics collect the data, tries to measure and analyze it for your web assets. So when I talk about web assets, it can be your website, it can be your social media tools, or it can be your emails. So wherever you are sharing your content. Now, this is a quick overview of how the web analytics dashboard looks like. So we'll have a quick demonstration of this web analytics dashboard. But before that, it's a quick overview what we can do to measure our online presence and online performance. So number one, we can track our website performance. Number two, we can track our social media performance. So we can track our Facebook pages, we can track our Twitter pages, we can track our email marketing analytics, we can track or the behavior of the user on our web pages using some qualitative data, like this is a heat map analysis or it can be a scroll map analysis. Now these analyses are more of a qualitative data which tries to measure the presence or position of the mouse pinpoint, and based on that they come up with a certain qualitative data to identify where the user's attention were mostly focused at. So in case of in this second image, you can see the scroll map shows that most of the users scrolled from the top, the header of the web page, to the middle somewhere in the first fold of the web page, and then most of them dropped out. This first image shows that most of the users had attention towards this particular menu button. This particular menu button placed in this particular position got the maximum number of clicks or maximum number of mouse hovers. So in this way, you can track the performance of your web pages. So this is what we are going to learn in today's session. Now, quickly, analytics is not just to measure the website visitors. It is a function that you have to install or that you have to use across your sales funnel throughout your consumer's journey. Now, remember this particular slide that we discussed in the last session, inbound methodology. So it says that from the very moment the user first gets to know you, that is, the user is a stranger, that target audience is a stranger, they found you on Google, they found you on Google search, they found you on Facebook search, or they found you on YouTube or email. So they found you somewhere or the other on the digital platform, and then they got into your website. So that is the stage where they converted from a stranger to a visitor. You shall be having an analytics in place to measure that user journey from stranger to a visitor. Again, as the user is on your web page, they are browsing through your content, they found a form or they found a call to action button, they clicked on it and they provided you their information like email ID and phone number and name. So you shall be having an analytics in place to track that lead conversions, to track how many people visited my web page, how many of them actually filled up the form and became a lead for my business. Again, from a lead to the customer's journey. So during that process, you are doing email marketing, you are doing cold calling, you are doing follow-up calls and follow-up emails. So you shall be having an analytics in place to track how those leads are responding to your communication, how they're responding to your emails and to your calls, and are they opening up your emails, are they responding back, or are they taking the next step that you want to be taken by them. And in this process, your analytics shall be helping you to identify the leads as per their behavior. So hot lead, warm lead, or cold lead. So as per their behavior, you can segregate the leads as per their level of interest or level of engagement, and then you can identify who are those potential leads whom I can convert into a customer. So analytics is helping you to identify the best leads and then put more effort towards those best leads and convert them into your customer. Once you have converted them into your customer, again there shall be an analytics in place to measure how many of how many of them are happy or satisfied with your products and service that you sold to them. So net promoter score or the customer satisfaction rate. So you shall be having an analytics in place, for example, a feedback mechanism, an email mechanism where you are trying to gather feedback or gather their review on your products and services. So there shall be an analytics in place to identify the gaps in your product from the consumer feedbacks, and based on that you have to try to satisfy those unsatisfied customers in your lot and turn them into your promoters or turn them into your brand goodwill advocates. So basically you are using analytics to identify who are those consumers who are happy and take testimonials from them, and who are those customers who are not happy with them, and using analytics you're identifying who are those customers who are not happy, and then you are trying to fulfill the gap and convert them into a satisfied customer. So analytics is helping you throughout the journey of the user in your website or in your digital business. So from the very moment the user gets in touch with your business online to the last or to the stage where the user is converted into a promoter, you have to have an analytical system in place to measure the performance of user across all the touch points of your business. So if you're having an analytical system in place, you can identify who are those customers who are those users for whom I shall be putting up more effort and trying to make them my customers and promoters. So analytics is a kind of support or a kind of aid that helps you identify the potentially good users, potentially profitable users, and then build your sales funnel more effective by responding to the right measures based on the analytical figures. So now this is the theoretical conceptual part. So let us try to understand the Google Analytics dashboard and try to understand what exactly shall we measure. So by now we have understood that it is important to measure the user's journey. It is important to measure each and every step of the user behavior across our sales funnel and act accordingly so that you can convert the right person at the right time, right user at the right time. But what do we exactly measure? So let us try to understand what exactly are those metrics and dimensions that we need to measure in our Google Analytics dashboard. Now, metrics and dimension. What is metrics and what is dimension? So metrics are the figures that you measure, and dimensions are the parameters that you measure. For example, the number of users visiting your web page. So that is a dimension, and how many people visited, that is a metric. So for example, 1,000 people visited your web page, so that is a metric for you, and the number of page views or the number of web traffic is a dimension. So I'll quickly get into this concept and then we'll move on to metrics and dimension in detail at a later stage in this session. So one core concept of Google Analytics statistics is recency, frequency, and monetary. So all the data in Google Analytics is distributed or segmented into these three core concepts: the recency, that tries to define how recently a customer has purchased from you. Then the frequency, so how frequently that user visits your web page or makes a purchase. So for example, I'm visiting your web page today, and after 1 week I suddenly remember that I need to access this particular information on that particular website again, and I visited your web page again. Now based on my browser's search history, Google Analytics will track me as a returning user and not a new user. So how frequently I visit your web page, or how frequently I visit your web page and purchase a product. And monetary is if I'm a user or I'm a customer that navigates through and transacts on your web page, what is my monetary value? How much revenue I'm generating for you? What is the amount of purchase that I'm making from your site? So it is more or less used for e-commerce portals. So monetary in the sense, in e-commerce portals you can track a particular user, how many times the user has visited your web page, and out of those visits, how many times he or she ended up making a purchase, and what is the total amount of purchase that he or she has made on your web page. So this will help you identify the customer lifetime value. This will help you identify to segment those customers who are high value customers of your business. So those are the customers whom you shall be targeting again and again, because they have a certain kind of trust and credibility and likability for your business. The reason they're purchasing from you again and again. So recency, frequency, and monetary analysis is something that you shall be keeping in mind. So whenever you are creating the KPIs, or you are setting the key performance indicators, you are setting the metrics that you want to track for your business, keep in mind these three areas: recency, how frequently or what is the rate of visit or what is the page views per session of my users; frequency, how many repeat purchases or how many repeat visitors I'm getting on my web page; and monetary, what is the economic value or what is the sale that I'm generating from each and every visit that I'm getting on my web pages. So why shall we be focusing on recency, frequency, and monetary value of the customers or the web visitors? So based on this recency, frequency, and monetary metrics of the customers, you can segment them and you can target them better, so that you can generate more revenue from those high potential customers who are highly likely to purchase from you. So this is more of a segmenting concept. So this RFM analysis would help you segment your web audience. So is it clear so far? Is everything clear? If there is any doubt, let me know in the chat box. So just to sum it up, whatever concept we have discussed so far, web analytics shall be aligned to your business strategy. So for example, if you want to increase the number of readers in your blog, or you want to increase the number of subscribers to your blog, you shall be trying to track metrics like web visitors and lead conversions. So how many people are visiting a web page and how many of them are subscribing to your content, or how many of you are actually reading the whole page. So the dwell time, that is the time spent by each and every user visiting on your web page, how much time they are spending every time they visit your web page. This is one metric that you should be tracking. And the second metric is, are they subscribing to my newsletter? Are they subscribing to my blog content? So if your goal is to increase the number of readers in my blog or number of readers in my website content, then these two can be your metrics. On the other hand, if you are an e-commerce business and you are trying to increase the sales of your products and services that you sell through your website or through your e-commerce portal, then in that case, your KPIs, or in that case, your web analytics metrics shall be how many people are making a repeat purchase, or in a lifetime of every customer's journey, how much revenue they are generating, or what is the value of their total purchases from my web page. So in this way, you can segregate those high value customers. Or if you're an e-commerce web page, your KPI can also be, what is the ratio of my users from abandoned cart to checkout, or what is the drop off from people who have added the product to the cart and who have actually made the checkout. Now, in case of e-commerce portal, a lot of users would be adding the products to the cart, and in the process, they might drop off and not end up into purchasing your product. This can happen, or this usually happens because either the user is not very sure, or he or she has changed his mind before making the final checkout, or the checkout gateway is not functional enough. The checkout gateway do not have the right payment modes, so the user could not make the checkout, or the checkout gateway or the payment gateway is not friendly enough and the user could not understand how to make the payment and they just dropped off. So there can be multiple reasons for a drop off. So you need to identify how my users are navigating through the portal throughout the purchase journey, and if they're adding to the cart and they're unable to make the checkout, why is the issue, where is the gap, why are they not able to make the checkout. So in that case, you can reach out to that particular audience using an emailer or using a phone call based on the profile or account data that you have, and you can try to know why exactly they could not make the final purchase or checkout. So based on the type of business that you're having, your web analytics KPIs or web analytics metrics shall be fixed. Now, web analytics has an overwhelming amount of data. There are a lot of data sets that you can get from your Google Analytics dashboard, but you do not need to track or measure each and every data set. You just have to segregate and list down only those data sets that is relevant to your business. Now, this is something that we'll be understanding in detail in this particular slide. But before that, let me quickly summarize what we are going to do in the next part of today's session. So this is your step-by-step process of using Google Analytics for your business. So number one, try to set goals and the measurement plan. So number one, try to think that what is it that I'm going to measure from my web analytics dashboard. So if I'm in an e-commerce portal, maybe I want to measure the number of conversions, or I want to measure the total amount of revenue that I'm generating from each and every customer, or I want to measure what is the abundant cart rate, that is people has added to the cart and they did not make the purchase, or what is the wish list add-on rate, how many people are adding to the wish list, or maybe I want to track how many people made a repeat purchase in my web page. There can be the other scenario where you are a simple company website and you want to know how many people are visiting my web page and going through my product portfolio or service portfolio. So in that case, page views and the amount of time they're spending on your portfolio page is what you have to measure or you shall be measuring. So based on your business type, try to set the goals, what exactly you want to measure. Next, set the technical infrastructure for your web analytics. Now, web analytics is a snippet of code that Google Analytics as a tool will give you, and you'll have to install that code in your website, and then all the activities on your website will be tracked and stored in the Google Analytics dashboard. So this part will be clear when we'll be going into the practical part of today's session. So for now, just try to understand that the next step in your Google Analytics journey shall be to set up the technical infrastructure, that is adding Google Analytics to your WordPress or to your website. Number third, try to structure the Google Analytics dashboard. So again, this is something that we'll see in the practical part. So yeah, this is the overall step-by-step process. So this is not very important as of now because we haven't delved into the practical part. So this particular slide gives you an overall idea about how you shall be planning your web analytics metrics. So this is a demo web analytics dashboard. So in this case, if you see that I have segmented the KPIs as per the goals that I'm having. So one goal can be create awareness among the users. So that is, I just want users to visit my web page and get to know about my business. This is one of those goals where my business objective is to generate leads. So in this case, I want users to visit my web page and put up their email ID and contact number in the lead forms, or at least click on those call to action buttons and get to know more about my products and services. The third objective over here is highlight events. So they shall be getting into my web page and joining my community. So it can be a Facebook group, or it can be a YouTube subscription. So they shall be visiting my web page, get to know about my event, or get to know about my community, and then join the community in the respective channels. So it can be a Facebook group, it can be a YouTube channel subscription. So as per the business goal, try to segment the KPIs for your Google Analytics. Now, if I want to create awareness among my users, so I need more web traffic. So in this case, my KPI or key performance indicators is branded traffic. I want to know how many people are searching for my brand name and then visiting my web page. So that is branded traffic. In case of lead generation objective, my KPI or key performance indicator from the Google Analytics dashboard shall be conversion in my e-news or conversion in my subscription base. So in this case, I shall be tracking how many people are converting or how many people are converting into a lead from the website. And again, this conversion can be on multiple pages, so I can segregate it into multiple pages as per my business. So in this case, it's an example. So e-news, so people who are subscribing for the newsletter, and people who are subscribing for the home tours demo. And also there can be some other KPI like downloads. So how many people are downloading the particular products or portfolio or the application that I'm listing on my web page. So based on your business type, multiple key performance indicators which you want to track through web analytics. So try to use a dashboard like this and try to come up with a certain goal in mind, that this is what I want from my website and this is what I want to measure from my web analytics dashboard. So not all, you don't have to measure each and every data in the web analytics dashboard. You just have to measure the data that you want to measure as per your website goal. So if your website goal is to measure the brand awareness, then just try to look for data like how many people visited my web page by searching my brand name. Now we'll see how to do it in practical. So if you want to do if you want to track the performance of your website, if you want to do web analytics, then there are multiple tools in the industry, but Google Analytics is the market leader. So we'll be exploring Google Analytics today. So almost 99% of the web pages use Google Analytics, and Adobe Analytics is the next competing analytics tool for websites. So Google Analytics is something that we'll be exploring today. So now, before that, let me just quickly take you through certain metrics that are there in Google Analytics dashboard. So number one, it's user behavior. You can track the user behavior in Google Analytics dashboard. You can track the engagement rate. You can track the SEO outcome, that is organic traffic, and how they're coming to your web page, and what is the time they're spending on your web page, and the revenue, that is how much amount of money that you are generating or how much sales you are generating from each and every web visitor. So I'll go into detail of each and every type of metrics over here. So if you want to measure user behavior, how the users are behaving or how the users are using your web page, how they're navigating through your web page, there are these 8 metrics that you need to track. So number one is page views. So if they're visiting your web pages, what are those pages that they are viewing? Now your web page, your website will be having multiple pages. So there can be 10 blog posts. Now all those 10 blog posts are individual web pages. So you have to track how many page views I'm getting. What are those pages that my users are visiting? Number two, average time on that page. If someone is visiting a web page, any of those web pages, how much time they're spending on that page? Now remember, the more they spend on your web page, better it is for your search engine ranking. Page depth, so after how many clicks they got into that particular web page. So for example, what is the depth of the page? So for example, if I'm clicking on your home page, then from home page I got into some other page, and from that page I again got into your third page. So in that case, I have to click 3 times to get into that particular page. So the page depth is 3. Now you have to ensure that your popular content are accessible within 1 or 2 clicks in a web page, so that it is easily discoverable by all the users. Unique visitors. So unique visitors are how many people are visiting a web page for the first time. Pages per session. If I'm visiting a web page, in that particular session, how many web pages I'm visiting? For example, I visited one of your blog posts, and from that blog post I visited one more blog post. So in that case, this is 2 pages per session. So in that particular visit, I have visited 2 pages of your web page. So that is 2 pages per session metrics that will be calculated. Bounce rate. So bounce rate indicates the number of users who left your page without visiting any other web page. So they visited a web page, they just scrolled here and there, they found nothing, or they found that the web page is not relevant to what they're looking for, and they left the web page. So that is a bounce rate. Higher the bounce rate, it is more harmful for your search engine ranking. Traffic sources. So under traffic sources, you can track what are those channels like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Quora. What are those channels through which my traffic is coming to my website? New and returning users. Now this metrics gives you an understanding of how many people are completely new to my web page, and how many of them are return visitors. That is, they have visited my web page somewhere or the other in the past, and they again visit my web page. Next, engagement. So to measure the engagement of your web page or your web content, you need to count the number of likes, the number of shares, the number of comments you're getting on your blog post, the number of republications. So there will be people, or there will be other bloggers, or there will be other website owners who will be taking your content as a reference and mentioning in their web page that here is a good content about the best performing best performing softwares for email marketing, for example. So that is a republication. So someone is referring to your content, or someone is just referring to your content and creating a content that has mentions about your content. Incoming request, so there will be people from other websites who will be trying to request you for a backlink, who will be trying to collaborate with you on certain content or on their blog. Mentions, there will be other websites who will be mentioning about your website. So you have to count this metrics. So how do we count it? That is what we're going to see in a while. Next, SEO outcomes. So from the Web Analytics dashboard, you can actually measure how your search engine optimization efforts are performing. How do you measure that? So you can measure the organic traffic. So how many people are searching on Google and naturally coming to your web page. So that is organic traffic. So you can measure the number of people who are coming as organic traffic. They're searching on Google, they found you on Google search, and they visited your web page. That is organic traffic. Dwell time, how much time people are spending on your web page. If your web content is good enough, then people are definitely going to stick around and read that particular content. Now that is dwell time, how much time they're spending on your web page. Backlinks, how many websites or how many IP addresses or how many websites, in a simple term, how many websites in the web are linking to your web pages or web content or website. So that is a backlink. So if, for example, in this case, I am having a website, and in my website I'm mentioning that this particular so your website is abc.com, and I'm mentioning that if you're looking for more information on movies, you can visit this particular site abc.com, who have a list of 100 best movies of the decade. So your site, your website abc.com or web page abc.com movie review related website. So in that case, so keyword ranking actually helps you identify what are those, where do you rank in the search results. So if you're having 10 web pages, so where do those pages rank in the search results? So this is keyword ranking. So from Web Analytics dashboard, you can also track the performance of your search engine optimization. Next, you can also track the revenue that you are generating from each and every user in your web page. So there can be metrics like existing leads touched. So this indicates the number of leads who have interacted with your content. So if some person is getting back to your web page and commenting on your blog post or reading your content. So for example, you have a lead and you have sent a mail to them, and in the mail you have shared a particular link saying that if you want to know more about our products and services, please visit this particular web page. So in that case, you can track if that person is clicking on that link and how much time they're spending on your web page by visiting that link. So I've clicked on that link, I've visited your web page, and you can track how much time I'm spending on that particular web page. And from that, you can have an estimated idea that if I'm spending so much time on your web page, I am interested somewhere or the other. That means I am an important lead for you, and you shall be trying to nurture me further to convert me into a sale. Next, new leads generated. So you can track how many people are filling up your conversion form, filling up your lead forms, or filling up your contact forms, and looking forward to get in touch further to know more about your business and end up purchasing your product. So you can track the number of leads that you are generating from your website. Return on investment, so you can track the amount of revenue that you are generating from each and every customer or each and every purchaser or buyer, whatever you call it. So we'll see it how we can track it. Conversion rate is the number of person who are actually ending up purchasing your product. For example, you got 100 people visiting a web page. Out of those, 50 people got interested in your product and provided you their phone numbers or email IDs or created an account with your website. So those 50 people are your leads. Now out of those 50 people, maybe 5 people ended up purchasing that product. So in that case, the conversion rate is 5 people out of 100 got converted. So it is 5% conversion rate. Cost per acquisition. So cost per acquisition is if I'm spending money, so you can link your Google AdWords, Google Ads account to your Web Analytics dashboard, and you can track if I'm spending 1000 rupees on my Google Ads, and for that 1000 rupees spent, I am getting 100 people visiting my web page, and out of those 100, only 2 people ended up purchasing my product. So in that case, my cost per acquisition would be 1000 by 2, that is 500 rupees. So I spent 1000 rupees on Google Ads. For that ad, from that ad, I got 100 people visiting my web page. Out of those 100, 2 people ended up purchasing my product. So I have acquired 2 customers over here. So by spending 1000 on Google Ads, I have acquired 2 customers. So my cost per acquisition is 500 rupees. Now let us get into the practical part of it. So this might give you a bit of idea, but I'm very sure it's not very clear to you right now, because until and unless you get into the live demonstration of the dashboard, it will be very difficult for you to understand all these concepts. But before you get into the dashboard, it is very important for you to understand the basic concepts of all these metrics over here: user behavior, engagement, SEO outcome, and your company revenue that you can track from your web analytics dashboard. So right now we are in our web analytics dashboard. So how do you register for it, and how do you add it to your website? Let us see that. So first of all, you can visit this particular web page, analytics.google.com, and automatically you'll be landing up on the sign up page. You can sign up with your email ID, and then you'll be landing up on this particular portal. From here you can get into admin section over here. Down below in the left bottom corner, you'll find admin. So once you click on admin, you'll land up on this particular page. So in this page, straight away get into tracking info. So once you click on tracking info, you'll get tracking code. Click on tracking code, and you'll find that you are getting a Google global site tag. So this is the code that you need to copy. So just try to copy this code and keep it in the clipboard. Now it gives you a proper direction about how to install it in your web page. So try to go through this particular content over here. It gives you a step-by-step direction. And also after this video, after this session, I'll be sharing a video where I'll be showing you how to add this particular code into your website. You have to add this particular code across all the web pages in your website in the header tag. So I'll show you how to add it. So for now, just get an idea that if you click on admin, from admin, you need to move to tracking info and then tracking code. Here you get the tracking code which you need to add to your website. Now using this tracking code, Google Analytics would be able to gather or collect information from your website. So once you've added this to your website, you can get back to this particular portal. And in this portal, you'll find the number of users who are active currently in your web page, the number of users, the revenue, the conversion rate, the sessions. You'll get a lot of metrics. But now let us try to segregate one by one and try to understand which metrics are actually important for us and which are not. So is it clear so far? Like this part might get a little confusing because it involves a little bit of technicalities. So if you have any queries, put in your comments or doubts in the chat box. So right now, let us try to see how we can use Google Analytics, how we can navigate through the portal, how we can navigate through the dashboard, understand the different metrics, and drive or derive decisions from it, interpret some results out of it, and how it can help us make some decisions for our business. Now, as I already mentioned, Google Analytics is a tool from Google that is used to measure the users behavior on our website. So you can track the number of users, how much time they're spending, what are those pages where they're spending their time, what are those pages or product that they're viewing or reading out, or what are those pages from where they're leaving our web page. So you can track a lot of data sets from this Google Analytics dashboard. Now there are a number of data sets or data points that you can track or that you can see from this particular dashboard, and it can get really overwhelming to track and measure each and every data point. So what I'll do over here is quickly give you an idea about what exactly to measure, what are those key metrics that you shall be measuring for sure, and then as per your business, how to decide what all other metrics that you need to measure from your Google Analytics dashboard. So right now, as you log into analytics.google.com, you land up on this particular dashboard, and this is the home page. So in the home page, you'll quickly get an overview of how your website has been performing. So what are the number of users that are visiting your web page? What is the revenue? That is how many sales that you've generated from your website. And what is the conversion rate? So how many people visited and how many people ended up purchasing your product, how many sessions. And also you can get to know what is the number of users that are currently on your web page. So from all across the world right now, there are 40 people or 41 people on your web page, and you can also see what are those web pages on which they are currently. So what are the pages, or what are those product pages or service pages where your users are currently. And then you can also get to know the traffic. So from traffic channel, from source and medium, from referrals, you can get to know what are those channels or the sources of your traffic. For example, in this case, traffic channels, so you can see that organic search. Now this deep blue color is the organic search. So if you hover over this, now this is for 5th December. If I hover over this particular column over here, I can see that from organic search I got 1.5k visitors, or web visitors, and 455 people directly landed up on my web page. That is, they have directly searched for my domain name. abc.com is my domain name, for example. They've directly searched for abc.com and they visited my web page. Now this is your direct traffic. Referral traffic is people who are visiting from some third-party website. So maybe you have listed your web page, or your web page is mentioned in some third-party XYZ blog, and from that blog some visitor, some reader of that particular blog clicked on that link and visited your web page. So that is a referral traffic. Now paid search are all those traffic or all those users coming to your website, visiting your web page from a ad. So you might have launched a particular Google ad campaign, and from that ad they clicked on that ad and visited your web page. So that is paid search. And others include all other miscellaneous small chunks of traffic that are coming from different sources. So you can get an overview of the traffic distribution by channel and by source and medium. And also you can get to check how the active users are over the time, or uh, over days or months or weeks. And you can also check how the traffic is distributed over the week. So the retention, so how many of them are actually returning back to your web page. You can also get a quick overview of the geographic region from where your traffic is visiting your web page. Or you can also get the device distribution. So here you can see that 71% of your users are from desktop, and 26% of them are visiting your web page from their mobile devices. And you can also see the time versus the day of the week. And you can see that at 10 a.m. or at between 10 to 12 in the noon on Wednesday, you got the maximum number of users visiting your web page. So this gives a clear qualitative idea about your users and how they are navigating or what they're doing on your web page, and where from you're getting your website traffic. So this is a quick overview that you get in the home page. Now let me quickly give you an understanding of this particular menu buttons over here. In the left vertical menu, you get customization option, you get real time, you get audience, you get acquisition, you get behavior, and you get conversions. Now in real time, I'll come to customization at a later stage. In real time, you get to know at present what is the status of your web page. At present, how many people are on your web page and on what pages they are, what product or service or what particular web pages they're browsing, and how much time they're spending on that particular page. So you can track real time what is happening on your web page, and you can also track real time what is the traffic sources. So for example, right now you shared a particular blog post on a Facebook group, and you can get to your traffic sources and you can wait and watch how many people are clicking on that particular Facebook post and visiting your web page in real time. So from here, traffic sources, I can get to know the referral traffic, or the organic traffic, or the mail traffic coming from my emailers, or traffic coming from my Facebook or Instagram or any other social media site. So in real time tab, you can get to know what your users are doing at this current moment on your web page. In audience, acquisition, and behavior, these three are interesting parameters that you can track in your Google Analytics dashboard. So in audience section, you can get to know who are those people who are visiting my web page, what is their age, gender, what is the device that they're using, what is their geography, from where they're visiting my web page. So in audience, you can get to know who is visiting my website. In acquisition tab, you can get to know how am I acquiring them, how am I getting my users, are they coming from Facebook, are they coming from Google ads, are they coming from organic search, how am I acquiring my new users or existing current website traffic. So how they are visiting my web page, how they're getting to my website. In behavior, you can get to know what they are doing in my website, how they are navigating through the web pages in my website. So in audience, you get to know who are they. In acquisition, how are they coming to my site? And in behavior, you can get to know what are they doing in my website. In conversion, you can get to know how much revenue they are generating for my website. So this is applicable in case of an e-commerce portal. If you are selling something on your website, so in this case you can track the number of users who visited your web page and ended up purchasing a particular product or service from your website. So you can track the conversion, that is the number of revenue that you are generating from your web traffic. So in short, this is a quick description of all these menu tabs. In the customization tab, you can create custom dashboards or custom reports. Now, as I said, Google Analytics dashboard has a lot of data sets. It has an overwhelming amount of data that you can track or you can measure, but you do not need each and every data set, so you can just customize the data as per your need. For example, if you go to custom reports, you can create a custom report by selecting the metrics that you want to track. So you'll come to this particular customization at a later stage once you have understood each and every metrics that is there in these three tabs. Now let us move on to audience. So before that, is there any query? Is there any type of query? Let me know in the chat box. So after that, we'll move on to details of each of these parameters. So audience, acquisition, and their behavior. We'll try to understand that. But before that, is there any query? Drop in the chat box. Great. So now let us explore the audience statistics. So as you click on audience and you get this drop down menu, and from here you can click on overview. Now in overview, you get a quick summary of your users. So you can get to know how many users you are getting. So this many number of people visited your web page, but for this particular time frame. So you can, this is very important, just try to change the time frame for which you want to make the study. So for now, I want to make the study for the month of December. I want to know from the 1st of December to till date how many users visited my web page. So if I select the date range over here, I can just customize the date range. So as soon as I selected the date period, I can see that from 1st of December to 11th of December, I got around 26,000 users visiting my web page. And out of those, 22,000 are new users. That is, you can also get a quick pie chart over here. You can see that 21% of my visitors are returning visitors. So they visited my web page somewhere or the other in the past. So they might have visited me 1 week back, 1 year back, 1 month back, and they've again visited my web page for some reason. And then number of sessions per user, and then you can also get to know the page views, pages per session, average session duration. So from here you can get to know that out of these 26,000 users that are visiting my web page, new 22,000 are new users. So I have to structure my web page for the new users. So my communication in my web pages shall be structured addressing the new user who are visiting my web page. Number one interpretation that you can make from this particular study, from this particular data set. Next, bounce rate is 44.09%. That means you are driving relevant traffic. So 44% of the traffic is bouncing back without navigating or without using your website. So there 44% of the traffic is visiting your web page. They're finding that this page is not relevant for me, and they're just leaving your web page without doing anything. So they're not clicking, they're not visiting any other page. So from here you can derive two insights. One is that either this 44% did not find your web page relevant to them because they could not understand what was the communication that was put in your web page, or you were not doing the right SEO, or your traffic was not coming from the right source. So your website might be for a particular domain. So for example, maybe you sell medical products, so it's more of a healthcare kind of industry, and you've shared your link over an email to a database of engineers. So in that case, those engineers might not be interested in medical products. So that's an irrelevant audience base what we're targeting. So this bounce rate can give you two insights. Either your website communication is not structured enough, is not appealing enough, is not clearly communicating what your website is all about, and that's why the users are not able to understand your website and leaving your web page. The second insight can be you are targeting a wrong set of audience. Next, you can see that average session duration is 2.58, that is around 3 minutes they're spending on your website, which is pretty okay. Pages per session, you can see that on every visit, an user on an average is visiting around 4 to 5 pages. which indicates that the navigation on your web page is pretty good. That's why they are able to, or they are finding it interesting to navigate to other pages. Next, if you scroll down in the audience overview section we are right now, if you scroll down, you can see the language that your users speak. Now, based on this language, you can structure the communication or content of your website. Now, for example, in this case, maybe you are targeting, so maybe you are having a website in English language and you are getting a lot of traffic in German. So in that case, you can think of having German as a language for your website communication or website content. So you can use polylanguage for your website. You can use multiple languages in your website, and you can have an option where the users, since you have a lot of visitors from Germany, you can have German as a language to select. So this is how web analytics can help you decide the website structure and improve your conversion rate. Next, in the country, you can actually check the geographic location from where your users are visiting your web page. So from here, I can know that US and India are the top two countries. US, India, and UK are the top three countries from where I'm getting my traffic. And based on that, you can also structure your communication. So again, in US, if you click on any of this country name, you can get to know the cities or the states from where the traffic is coming. For example, in this case, if I'm clicking on United States, I can get to know the cities from where I'm getting the traffic. So from US, California is sending me the maximum amount of traffic. 37% of my traffic is coming from California. So I can know that a lot of my audience base is from California. So this is how you can drill down the information and get a lot of insights out of it. So country, city, language that you have covered, demographics information. Next, the system information. You can also get to know the browser that they're using, the operating system that they're using, and the service provider that they're using. So in this case, let me just quickly click on operating system, and I can get to know the Windows or Macintosh or Android, whatever operating system that they are using currently while visiting my website. From browser, I can get to know what is the browser that they're using. Now this will help me understand that I shall be structuring, or I shall be fixing my website to load properly in this particular browsers. So if I'm getting a lot of visits from Edge or from Firefox, I shall check my website if it opens or if it loads correctly in this particular browsers. Next, I can move to operating system for mobile and system provider for mobile. The screen resolution. Now screen resolution can help us understand what is the ideal screen size for most of my users, and based on that I can create the images or content structures or the web page layout for my users. So here I can see that a majority of my users are having a screen size of 375 into 667 and 375 into 815. So I can structure my web content for this particular two layouts. I can check my website responsiveness for these two layouts or for these two screen resolutions, and based on that I can provide a superior consumer experience for all this audience over here. So again, web analytics helps you identify your audience base, what they're doing, and based on that structure your website for a better result, for better conversions. Then you can click on lifetime value, and under lifetime value you can get to know that over the time what is the revenue that you have generated from these users. So you can get to know that from organic search you have got this many traffic, this many users, and from this many users you generated a revenue of 0.69 per user and total revenue of 640. So this is the total revenue that you have generated over time from organic search. So again, you can change the date time frame. So you can also take it for 1 week and check that in the last month or in the last 1 week, what is the revenue that I have generated from different channels. So in this case, from organic search, I got around 10,000 users in my website, and out of those 10,000, some of them made a purchase, and the total revenue that I have generated is $353. That is 49% of my revenue. So half of my revenue came from organic search. So that means my search engine optimization is working really good for me. I'm getting more targeted and more ideal target audience in my website from my search results, and they are actually ending up purchasing my product. So that is a decision that you can make. So based on that, you can actually make a decision. For example, in this case, had it been the case that from paid search or from social you are getting a lot of revenue out of it, so in that case you could have decided that maybe I can spend more on socials because I'm already getting a good revenue from social media sites. So in this case, it says that organic search is the best possible channel for you to get better conversions. So people who are coming from organic search are more relevant for your products and services, and they end up making a purchase. Next, try to understand the cohort analysis. So cohort analysis gives you an idea about whenever you have launched a campaign. So with the passage of time, how the distribution of the user traffic has been throughout. So in day one you got around 3.4% traffic. In day 5 you got 1.2%. Somewhere in the middle it dropped. So you can study the users acquisition over the time. If you get into audience, so this data is not showing up, but you can also check the number of users, the segment of the users, and all that. In demographics, you can check the age and gender of the user. So in overview, you get a combination of age and gender. And if you want to individually check these two data set, you can click on age and gender and check it. So for users, you are getting these data sets. So you can see that 25 to 34 is the maximum number of users. So 47% of your users are of the age bracket 25 to 34. So from here, you can decide that if my website is for a senior citizen product, then in this case I'm getting a wrong traffic, or in this case maybe I'm getting a traffic who are influencers. So for example, you're selling a product which is meant for elderly people 55 and above, and in this case you're getting a traffic of 25 to 34. So here you can make a decision that these 25 to 34 age bracket users are actually the influencers who are actually aiding the purchase of my products for my ideal target customer, that is the senior citizens or the elderly of 55 and above age group. So in this case, you can structure your website content for this 25 to 34 age group. So in this case, maybe you can create communications saying that gift this perfect product for your perfect product ABC for your parents or for your grandparents, something like that. Next, you can also see the demographics, the gender of the audience that you are having, the web traffic that you received over the last 10 days. So here you can again I'm repeating it. This is very important to filter out the time frame for which you want to study the data. So I'm studying for the last 10 days. So as per your need, you have to filter out this time frame, and then you can see that 37% are females and 62% are males. So again, your communication can be structured as per this particular segmentation of your gender and age group. Under interest, you can see what are their areas of interest. So it can be mobile phones, so most of them are value shoppers, and most of them are also interested in technology. So you can get a quick distribution of what their areas of interest are. Now again, from geography and location, you can get to know the language. From geography, you can get to know the language and location, same thing that we just saw a few minutes back. From behavior, you can see the returning and new and returning visitors, frequency and recency. Now this is very important. Let us just quickly discover this. So in frequency and recency, you can get to know the sessions and page views. So this is the number of sessions and the page views that happened for one session. So you can discover this cohorts or discover this metrics one by one after this session. So all these metrics helps you make certain strategic business decisions. Now here it says that in engagement, it says that around 12,000 of the sessions ended within 0 to 10 seconds. So it means that your sessions are not engaging enough, and a lot of users found that the web page do not have enough content to hang out for more than 10 seconds. Within the first 10 seconds, they are done with your web page and they are just moving on to other web page or leaving your website. So this is very important to discover each and every metrics and then come up with certain metrics that you want to track for your business. So again, these metrics shall be structured as per your business type. So if you're an e-commerce portal, then you have to track the revenue. If you are a normal website who are just demonstrating the products and services or the portfolio of your work, then in that case, again, the engagement would be what you shall be tracking. So under session quality, you can see that you can again check from organic search, this is the traffic that you are getting. Then again, out of these 13,000, 10,000 are new users, the bounce rate is something like this, and 53% is the bounce rate from organic search, and you're also generating the maximum amount of revenue from organic search. So yeah, similar story, the same metrics, but put up in different dimensions. So here you are getting the channels and their how the traffic from this particular channel is acquired, what is their behavior. So did they leave your site or did they spend a lot of time on your web page, and what is their conversion rate, so are they ending up making a purchase. So the channel versus acquisition, behavior, and conversion of the user. So there are a lot of such data that you can track, but right now in this particular session I'm just covering important data sets that you shall be tracking for sure. So next, let me move on to user flow. Now let it load. It takes some time to load. The system is something like this. Now this user flow is an interesting flow chart that shows you the drop off from your page. What is drop off? The page from which the user leaves your website. So in this case you can see that from US uh, US, around 22% of the traffic visited your homepage, and from homepage, around 30% of them just left your site. But rest 70% moved on to some other web pages, which is pretty good metrics. So 70% of your web pages from US, 70% of your users from US visited the homepage. From homepage, they visited these particular web pages, and from these web pages, a majority of the users went to this particular web page, and from here they went to this web page. So this flow of the user gives you an idea about how the users are navigating on your website. So from here, I can make a clear understanding that this flow path is having the maximum user flow, user attraction. So these pages, these 3 pages, 1, 2, 3, and 4, these 4 pages are having the maximum user attraction. So these 3 pages can be something that I shall try to improve further, and these pages can be something that I can move to the home page or move to somewhere where people can directly get into. For example, to get into this particular page, someone have to visit the home page, visit this particular page, and then visit this particular page. So the depth of a page is 1, 2, and 3. So in this case, what I can do is I can move this particular web page, or I can link this page somewhere in my home page so that people can visit this page within 1 click rather than passing through this page in the middle. So this way, user flow can help you make some strategic decisions about the placement of your web pages or the structure of your menu of the web page. Again, if you click on this plus step, you'll get a further flow of the user, and you can just keep on going. So over here, if you notice, it says that first interaction, second interaction, third interaction, fourth interaction, and fifth, sixth, and it keeps on going till the user completely drops off or leaves your web page. So just explore this user flow. It's an interesting chart that will help you understand the important pages in your web page. What are those web pages in your website which is getting the maximum number of web traffic, and what are those pages that are hidden in a very deep menu structure, and which I can get into the front or the home page of my web page for 1-click visit. So yeah, that's all from the audience section that you shall be tracking. Then let us move on to acquisition part. Now under acquisition, you get to know the traffic sources and also the different channels from where you are getting the traffic. So it gives a quick overview. So in this overview section, in this overview tab, you get a quick summary of the users, the conversions, and the top channels. So it shows that 55% of your traffic is coming from organic search, next followed by direct. So a lot of people know your brand and they are directly visiting your web page. A lot of traffic is also coming from referral sites. So again, if you just scroll down, you'll find the channel, and corresponding to that, you get acquisition, behavior, and conversion of those users. So again, if you click on organic search, You get a detailed list of all the pages or all the keywords from which they visited your web page. So in this case, you see that people are searching for certain keywords and they got into this particular web page, this particular web page, or this particular web page. So either the keyword or the web page has been listed over here. So you get a clear idea that what is that web page that is ranking in the search results and that is getting me a lot of user traffic. And again, from the revenue section, you can get to know what are those product pages from where I'm getting a lot of sales. Again, if you get into tree maps, you'll get a tree map chart over here. This is not very useful because it's very difficult to interpret. So let us just scroll down to the tabular format of the data. From here, you can see the channel, and against the channel, what is the acquisition behavior and conversions of those users. Get into source and mediums. So in source and medium, you can get to know that know the number of users who are coming from different sources and medium. So for example, in this case, how to read this particular tabular chart is 20,000 users are visiting my web page from organic search in Google search engine. So they're not using Bing or Baidu or any other search engine. They're using Google as a search engine. They're searching on Google. They're finding me on the organic search results, and then they're visiting my web page. So there, 53% of my traffic is coming from Google search. Next, 16% are coming from direct, and 8% are coming from my emails. So maybe someone just launched an email marketing campaign where your website was there, and from that email, people clicked and visited your web page. So you can click on each and every link over here and get into detail of the data set that you're having over here. So let us try to get into Google Ads. So if you are also using Google Ads, you can add Google Ads to your Google Analytics account. Now, whenever you are running Google Ads, now Google Ads data is being tracked by Google Analytics. So all your Google Ads data is gathered and stored in this Google Analytics dashboard. So in this case, you can see that if you click on campaigns, you'll see the campaigns that you have ran in the past. So in this case, it shows that in the past, AW Google brand is the campaign that was ran, and from this campaign I got clicks. I got 723 clicks. So out of 723 clicks, this was the cost per click. So this is the total cost spent, and the cost per click was around $0.24, and the number of users are 553 number of users, and then you get to see if they have ended up purchasing your product. So you can see that from this particular ad, you got this many clicks, this is the amount spent, this is the cost per click, and the bounce rate was 22%, and they ended up purchasing nothing from your website. If you look at this particular ad, from this ad, you got 182 clicks, and out of those users, so there are 131 users, and out of those users, you got 192 rupees of $192 of sale. So right now you can calculate the cost of acquisition. So so for example, you made a sale of 1,000 rupees on your website by spending 500 rupees on ads. So you can calculate the conversion rate or cost of acquisition per user based on that. So yes, you can explore keyword search queries for which you got the users. So for example, someone searched for Google shirt or Google clothing or Google swag, Google merch store. So they searched for this particular keyword and got into your website. So you can also track the keywords for which you got the ad click. From Google Search Console, you can track the landing pages where people are visiting the most. In this case, it is not exactly integrated, so sorry for this, I cannot show it right now, but if your Google Search Console is integrated, you can also see the pages on which you are getting the maximum amount of traffic. So from that, you can identify the best performing pages and put a lot of effort in improving those pages further and increase your conversions. Again, in this case, I got into social. So under acquisition, social, and in social, you can track the performance of the referral traffic that you're getting from all these social media channels. So in this case, I can make a conclusion that I'm getting a lot of traffic from social media sites, and particularly YouTube, and so I can spend more of my marketing spend or marketing effort on YouTube, since I'm getting 70% of my traffic from YouTube. And you can also see what is that particular content on YouTube or Facebook that gave you the traffic. And if someone is visiting your web page, then what is that page that they're visiting from YouTube or Facebook. Again, you can visit campaign and you can see all the social media campaigns from which you got the traffic. So AW YouTube, so this is one of those campaigns, and from this campaign, what is the what is the number of users that you've got, and how these users performed on your website. So did they bounce off? Did they spend time on your web page? If yes, how much time they spent on your web page? And have they made any purchase on your web page? So you can check or track each and every parameter like that. Now under behavior, you can get to know how they're navigating in a web page again. So in behavior, you can see that over the time, the number of page views, unique page views, and also the average time on each and every page, the bounce rate, and the exit percentage. So what does it mean by unique page views and page views? So unique page views are when someone is visiting that particular page for the first time, and there might be cases when you visited one website, you landed up on page A, you liked the page, from the page you navigated to some other page, 2, page 3, page 4, and after that you've thought, let me just get back to page 1 and see what I read in the first place, and you just came back to page 1. So in that case, that is the number of page views for page 1 is 2, but unique page views is 1. You can also track the search term for which you got for which you got the traffic and all. And then you can go to behavior flow. Under behavior flow, again the same story. You can just check the landing page from where landing page, and from that landing page how they navigated. Now one important part over here is you can also add multiple parameters to track. So along with users, you can also track the number of users who are new users. So right now I'm just trying to apply this filter, and I can check the number of users versus the new users. So it will give me an idea that what my new users are doing. So the data is pretty small to display over here. And also you can track, you can just have the tree map by source and medium. So in this case, maybe I'll just try to have it by source. So if I just filter it by source, I can see that from Google I got the maximum amount of traffic, and out of those all those traffic came to this particular web page, which is not tracked properly. So in certain cases, you might also get this particular value not set. So in this case, it means that the page to which your users flocked or your users visited from Google search was not tracked properly, and 93% dropped off. And this is how the flow is like. Again, you can get into your site content and you can see what all pages are performing good. That is, which pages are having a lot of views and a lot of readership time. And you can also filter it by the different metrics. So I'll just add one more metrics over here. I want to track the mobile traffic. So I want to see how the mobile traffic has been performing. So I can see that over the time, this is how the mobile traffic has been performing. So I'm getting 20,000 views from mobile traffic. And you can further drill down the content and see what is that particular web page which is getting a lot of traffic. So you can also remove each and every metric that you add over here. So I'll just simply remove it to keep it simple and so that I can understand the data set. So in this case, you can see that these are the pages that got the maximum number of views. So you can see that this particular web page is performing really well, and 53% of your traffic got into this particular web page. And under exit pages, this is very important to know what are those pages which are not performing well. So you can see that home slash store. So these are the pages from where most of your audience is leaving your web page. So maybe you can install one exit intent pop-up for this particular pages. So what do I mean by this is, for example, someone is visiting your store.html. Now from this website analytics data, you get an idea that of my traffic is leaving from this particular web page. So what I can do is I can install one exit intent pop-up. That means whenever someone will intend to move the mouse towards the close button of the browser, and a pop-up would come up. So that is known as exit intent pop-up, and that pop-up would throw up certain promotions like, hey, are you leaving? Here is your 20% off. Why not you explore this particular product? Or why not to subscribe to our newsletter, so that we can show you more products, something like that. So you can just try to retain that user who is exiting your web page. So this is how you make decisions from your website analytics dataset. Now from the page speed, you can get to know the page timings, and you can also get to know what are those pages who are not performing well. So you can track the average page load time for each and every page that you're having. So from here you can have a quick understanding of what are those pages that are not performing well or that are loading slow, and you can work particularly about on those pages. So just to quickly summarize, this dataset or this Google Analytics data can actually help you identify and debug the problems in your web page design, web page communication, web page technology, and also your users' behavior. So this is a really powerful data that you shall be exploring by bits and slices. Whatever metrics you want to track, try to get into those metrics and track it for months. So under conversions, you can also track the shopping behavior of your users. So if you go to overview, you'll get a complete dashboard of how exactly your conversions have been right now. Right now, I'll just go into shopping behavior. I'll go into the details. So under shopping behavior, you can see that no shopping activity. So out of all the users, 18,000 of them, 75% of the users did not do any kind of shopping. They just visited a web page, they viewed the website, they navigated through, and then they just left. And out of those, around 4,700 people browsed your product, saw the product, visited the individual product page, learned about the product, read about the product and surveys that you're having, but did not add to the cart and left your web page. Cart abandonment. So 773 people added the product to the cart, but they did not make the purchase and they left the website. So they added the product to the cart and they left the website. 520 people moved to the checkout place. So from the add to the cart, clicked on the payment gateway, payment link. They moved out to the checkout page. They tried to make the payment, but they just left from the checkout page. And 28 sessions or 28 number of times people tried to make a transaction, but they could not make the transaction. And 28 sessions were where people actually, or your users actually made the transaction, that is they purchased from your website. So from this information you can get to know where exactly is the problem. So if you see that a lot of people are abandoning the cart, or a lot of people are just leaving the web page from your checkout page. So from here you can identify that my checkout page might not be optimized for conversions, or my checkout page might be having certain flaws in the design layout or in the communication layout that my users are unable to make the purchase. So in that case, you can get to your checkout page and try to analyze what exactly the UX UI layout or the user interface, user interaction design can be improved in your checkout page, so that you can increase the conversion rate. So maybe you can add one quick link saying that, are you facing any problem making the checkout? Make a quick call or request a quick call back. So something like that can improve your conversion rate or checkout rate on your website. So again, in the checkout behavior, you can again drill down to the checkout process, and you can see that in the billing and shipping drop off. So 33% of the people just dropped off in the billing and shipping page. In the payment page, 213 people dropped off, and in the review page, 47 people dropped off. So from here also you can identify if your payment page is having any kind of errors, if it's all right for conversion, if it's all optimized for conversions. Product performance. Under product performance, you can see the individual product pages, how they are performing, and what are those products that are having the maximum amount of sales. So here you can see that this is the product that is getting me the maximum amount of revenue. So yeah, this is how you can track each and every data set or each and every user behavior in detail. And also you can also just check, just try to explore each and every parameter over here. Now this data set is huge and it is beyond the possibility of exploring each and every data point one by one in one session. So after this particular session, try to explore this portal. Now this is the demo portal from Google and Google Analytics. So I'll share the link of this demo portal. Try to explore each and every data set. Now after that, try to figure out what are those particular data points that I want to measure for my business, and according to that, make your Google Analytics plan. So here is where we get into customization section. So this customization section is made to help you structure the metrics that you want to track as per your business. So if you get into custom reports, you'll find that you are able to create new custom report. So click on new custom report and you can add the metrics. So for example, in this case, I want to track my readership. So how many people are reading my web page? So for readership, my metrics can be the behavior of the users. So how much time they're spending on my web page. So in this case, I can just I can just search for number of pages and sessions. I can also look for session time. So average session duration. And also I can look for bounce. And I can also add some metrics like exit page, medium, and source. So as I save it, I can find that a custom report has been created, and this custom report is known as readership rate. So through this custom report, I want to just know the exit pages from where my users are leaving my web page so that I can improve these exit pages, and also the amount of time that they are spending, the average duration that they're spending on my web page, and the bounce rate of those web pages. So next time I visit my dashboard, I'll get this particular option over here. So for example, in this case, if I go back to my custom reports, I can see that there's a new custom report that is being created. So if I click on this, I'll directly get into this readership rate. So this way you don't have to go and select or go and create a report every time you want to track. So for example, I want to track this particular data set every month. So in this case, what I can do is I can simply get into this portal. I can simply get into custom reports and click on this particular report that I have created. In this custom report readership rate, I can simply have a look of the view. I can add the new segment. So I want to know about mobile traffic. So this month I want to see what is the mobile traffic like in my uh, top exiting pages. So now let us get back to customization. So in customization, you can create custom reports that you want to track every month or every week. So now you don't want to track each and every data set every month. You don't want to log into your Google Analytics dashboard and keep exploring each and every tab over here. So what you can do is you can just create a custom report with all the data sets or all the metrics that you want to track for your business. So in this case, maybe I want to track SEO performance of my website. So I have created a separate report over here, and if you look at this report, it just contains metrics that helps me identify my SEO effort. Now in this case, this is a custom report that gives me those metrics only, that will help me understand my SEO performance. Now in this case, total visits from SEO, that is total visits from the organic search, the non-branded and branded visits, sorry for this, the non-branded and branded visits, and also the landing pages on which I got the maximum amount of users and maximum average time. So this will help me understand my SEO effort. Now again, search engines used, I can get to know that, okay, I'm ranking good in Google search, and these are the different structure of my traffic sources, and these are the cities where I'm ranking, or these are the different cities from where I'm getting the maximum amount of traffic. These are the pages where I'm getting the maximum dwell time. People are spending a lot of time on these pages. And this is the structure of how my traffic from branded searches and non-branded searches have been like. Now, branded searches are all those search keywords containing your brand name. Now, the best part of this reports are, these reports are saved in your saved reports section or the custom reports section. So right now, let us see how we can create a report, some report like that. So go to your dashboard, click on create. Now I'll create a starter dashboard. It will just help me get started with it. And I want to study the performance of my website traffic. So I'll just create the dashboard. And I'll see that there are certain metrics that are preloaded already there. Now, in case you want to add new metrics, you can simply add it by add segment. So in this case, I want to know how my mobile traffic is performing. So I have a very curious interest towards my mobile traffic and my new users. So I can simply select these two and apply it. So I'll see that now all my data sets will be segmented into three metrics, three dimensions. One is users, one is mobile traffic, and one is new users. So I can see that all these three dimensions are been floating, or are been populated in all the charts that are here. So from here I can see the number of users from so the number of new users are like this, and the new users from mobile traffic are like this. So from here I can now from here I can closely track the mobile traffic and the new users. I can find a correlation between these two and actually come up with a decision whether my mobile traffic is worthy enough, or whether my website is functional enough for mobile traffic. Is my mobile website conversion friendly for mobile traffic? Now I can also see the sessions by browser, and from here I can make a decision that what is the browser that most of my mobile visitors are using. So based on that, I'll try to check or audit my website for how it loads on those browsers or on those devices. Again, I can check the bounce rate, and I can also check the duration of the pages. So you can add as many number of metrics as you want. So in this case, maybe I do not want this data set, and in that case I can delete it. So maybe I don't want the number of users, so I can just simply delete it. Yes, delete the widget. And in case you want to add a new parameter or new metric over here, so just hit on add widget. So add widget, and you'll find that it floats up something like this. You can just put the title over here. I want to put a title source, to track the source of it, and keep it as geography, whatever chart type you want. So metric means you will get a table, timeline you will get a chart, geomap you will get a map graphics, table you will get a simple table of information, table of data, pie chart, and bar chart. So you can select it, and based on, and after that you can just select the metrics that you want to study. So I want to study the country, and also I want to study the, maybe I want to study the bounce rate. So from here I can study which country is having the maximum bounce rate, and based on that maybe I can structure my content or communication in my website to improve the bounce rate, that is to reduce the bounce rate. Now in my case I want to study the world, and let me just see how it shows. It is loading, and yes, somewhere here I can see that my sources are being shown up over here. So these are the geographic sources that have been floated. So I can see that Brazil is having the maximum 58% bounce rate, and the deeper the color, the maximum the bounce rate. So this is the country from where I'm getting 100% bounce rate, not a large traffic source, so I can ignore it. So based on that, you have to make the decision. Again, mobile traffic. So in mobile traffic, again, Kazakhstan is a place from where I'm getting 100% bounce rate. So yeah, you can just play around with different metrics by adding the widget, and you can create it. Now the best part why you shall be creating a custom report like this is every month you would like to track this particular metrics only. So every month you can get back to this report from your dashboard and have a look at it. You can email it to your team members, you can share it over with a link, you can also export it as a PDF file. So that is the interesting part of it, and most important part is just filter out the time period for which you want to study this particular data set. Now let me just quickly go into the reports that are already there. So that will give you a quick idea about what kind of reports you can create. So for if you want to track the device performance, or if you want to track real time, if you want to track e-commerce, so just let me have a quick look of it so that I can explain it to you. So in this particular dashboard, I'm tracking the e-commerce performance of my website. So in this case, I have added all the metrics that are important to track the e-commerce performance. So in this case, the e-commerce conversion rate, I'm tracking it by number of users and the number of users who are new. So just remove it so that it gets easier for you to understand. And in this case, you can see that so let me just remove it so that it gets easier for you to understand. So in this case, I let it load. So here I can check that the e-commerce conversion rate is 16.16%. Number of transactions are this. So this many people made a transaction, and the average order value is this. Total number of revenue that I've generated in the past 10 days or so, this particular week, this particular time frame, 5th December to 11th December, the total revenue is this. Number of visits are this per visit. So this is not very important. uh, anyway, so this is the distribution of the sessions. So desktop, mobile, tablet, what are the devices, and through which device you got the maximum number of orders, and what are the products by revenue. So the top 10 selling products by revenue. So maybe these products got sold 3 times, so this has the maximum revenue. Again, this product sold 2 times, but the unit price of this product was low, so it is having the lowest product revenue. So you need to understand from this particular chart, you can understand the best performing or best seller products in your e-commerce website. Again, from this particular chart, you can see the source and medium. So Google search, organic search result, and you got some 8,900 sessions, and this got you the maximum number of revenue. So this is how you can create custom dashboards as per the metrics that you want to track for your business, and then email, export, whatever you want to do. As you export it, it saves into a fine-tuned PDF that is ready to share with your team. Now that's it from the Google Analytics dashboard. So after this session, please explore all these reports first. So just explore all these metrics first. After that, move to customization and create a dashboard with the metrics that you want to track on a regular basis, on a weekly, monthly, daily basis. So every day you visit your Google Analytics dashboard, simply get into dashboards and open up the dashboard that you have created. So for example, you want to just have a look at the site performance, click on it and you can have a look. You want to have a look at the audience snapshot, just click on it and you can have a look at the audience distribution. You can see the unique visitors, the number of visits by location, so you can have a quick look of it. So structure your this particular snapshot or dashboards would not be there in your Google Analytics as you install it. So try to select the metrics that you want to track, and based on that create the dashboard so that you can track this particular dashboard on a regular basis. Yeah, that's all from Google Analytics dashboard. Now let me quickly move on to the slide and have a quick recap of this. So we have seen how we can use Google Analytics to understand the user behavior, their engagement with my content, their engagement with my web pages, the SEO outcome, how my web pages are performing on search engines, and also the revenue or the conversion of my conversion of my users on my website. That is the sales that I'm generating from those web traffic. So yes, that's all from today's session. If you have any doubt, get in touch over chat, email, WhatsApp, whatever, and just ensure that you use web analytics to have to track the user throughout their journey on a web page. and based on that come up to certain insights that will help you grow your business. So for example, based on this data, we have seen that based on this data set, you can come up with information like maybe I want to use German as a language for my website. Maybe I can have an option to convert my website into German language. So if you're having a lot of traffic from Germany, or if you're having a lot of traffic who speaks the language German, you can also structure your communication based on the audience demographics. So maybe you are getting a lot of traffic from men of the age group 25 to 34, as in this case we have seen. So in this case, in this kind of scenario, you can also structure your communication or ad messaging or website communication, structuring towards those millennial or those group of audience who consume the majority of your user base. Then you can also have a look at the geography from where you are getting the traffic, the behavior. You can also check the drop-offs. So what are those pages from where you are losing the most of your traffic? So from those high drop-off pages or web pages from where a lot of your users are leaving your web page, you can use exit intent pop-ups to retain them for a longer time, and just requesting them to give you a second chance and look for some other products that they might be interested in. So in this way, you can increase the engagement in your web pages. So by studying the technology, mobile and cross device, all this information, you can understand if your website is loading fast enough in all those browsers and mobile devices where from you are getting a lot of users. So basically, Google Analytics dashboard or Google Analytics can give you a lot of information about your business, about your website performance, or about your online performance. So this can be a wonderland of insights for you if you utilize it to the full potential. So I hope you'd be able to explore all these tabs one by one. And if you have any doubts, get in touch. This is very important that you do not ignore Google Analytics. Now, out of all these topics in digital marketing, a lot of companies focus majorly on social media marketing, search engine optimization, on Google ads or PPC ads, but a lot of them ignore the web analytics section. But this is a part which actually helps you optimize and get a better results. So this is where you can get to know, using web analytics, you can actually better analyze your business and track the performance, and based on that, you can take the necessary measures to come up with better solutions or better results for your business. I hope this session was helpful for you. If you have any doubts, get in touch. And after this session, I'll be sharing this link of Google Analytics demo account. Thank you so much for today's session. See you in the next session. Thank you so much. Bye bye.